Hello.
Hi, I'm Mariah and I blog at Giggles Galore. I'm so excited to be speaking with you today, Dr. Jennifer Arnold.
Well, thank you. It's nice to meet you and to chat with you as well. Thank you so much.
I understand that you're going to give us some tips about staying healthy now that we're in the back to school season. And as a mom with 3 kids, I feel like we always come home with some kind of germ we didn't want. So I can't wait to talk about this and find out a little bit more about some of your fun tips for us.
Absolutely. I'm happy to.
So I guess I know you have little ones. So what do you do to keep your kids healthy, especially during this time of the year?
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. I have, Will and Zoe, who are 3 and 5, and they are right at that prime time age. Sounds like you also have twins at that prime time age where all these new infections that they're exposed to at school, they obviously get them, they bring them home, and everyone in the family spends the next 2 weeks sick, and it's no fun. So, there are a couple things that I recommend. I think first and foremost is to have, sort of an adequate sleep. Sleep is huge for your immune system to refuel. So making sure your kids are getting the appropriate number of hours, per the American Academy of Pediatrics. Then on top of that, having a good amount of activity during the day as part of just staying healthy overall. Most kids are really supposed to be active for a minimum of an hour a day. For my son, that probably happens without me trying very hard. For my daughter, I might have to work a little harder at making sure that happens. So
I can relate. My son is very active as well.
Yeah, I have no problem making sure he's got his exercise in. But and then what's, also the third thing that's really important is just a good balanced diet. And so, having 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is really key. And, particularly a good amount of vitamin C, which helps to boost your immune system to be strong. And so, and that's why we love to drink our orange juice every morning for that.
Yes. And so speaking of getting those fruits and vegetables in, my kids kind of go through these phases. Like one week we do really good and they love everything that's put in front of them. And then other weeks it's like, I'm not touching that. It's green. So what are your recommendations for helping the kids eat a colorful plate of veggies? Because I know that's kind of important, is we're supposed to eat the rainbow, right?
Yes. Yes, you're supposed to have the orange, the green, the red, all of the spectrum so that you get all those different beneficial vitamins and minerals. So it's hard. And I tell most parents from my pediatrician hat is that you really have to find out what works best with your kids. And now with my mom hat on, I have found that for what works one week may be very different than what works the next week. So, for example, with my kids, it's all about making it fun. And so if, having those, 3 different colors of veggies on the dinner plate starts to, no longer be cool, then I have to think about, okay, how can I make this fun? And so we'll make smoothies. Probably my kids' favorite are popsicles, might be because I live in very hot Houston. But
we're Texas too, here in Dallas.
Oh my gosh. So the heat and,
yes.
How hard that can be. So, my kids love to cool down. And so we make it an event. We mix together some veggies and some fruits. We'll put in whatever, the rainbow requires, whatever's fun. And then I have them help me blend it in our little blender. And then we put it in they have things nowadays to make popsicles that are so cool. When I was a kid, my dad, he did the ice cube tray, right? Put the sticks in. But now they have shapes and things that make it really fun for the kids. So we do that, and then we say, okay, we got to wait, 3 or 4 hours. There's a lot of anticipation, excitement, and then, after they wake up from nap time, voila, we can have some popsicles. So I would say that's, to me, what works the best is making it fun. But, the other thing that I do is I keep all those fruits and veggies down low. And so my kids also, knowing my kids specifically, they love to be independent. It's all about, I can do it. I can do it, mommy. And so if I put, the fruits and veggies on the bottom of the fridge or the pantry, that's awesome because that's what they can get to all by themselves and they just love it. They'll be like ready for snack and they'll say, I can do it. And, if I left all the junk snacks down low, then that's what they would go for. But by putting those up high, they have more fun getting something up by themselves.
Right. Those are some great tips, actually. And, I do agree that letting the kids get involved is really important. I have found that that's really a big help in my home as well. Giving them a chance to have their say and input makes them feel like they have a little bit more ownership over it. So great tips. And that, I guess kind of brings me to dinner, because I've also started trying to let my kids help plan menus for dinner and help cook in the kitchen. But we're busy. We've got sports and after school activities, and, dinner always kind of seems to be like, sometimes. So what are your tips for helping make some really good, healthy family dinner meals that are quick and easy for this busy time of year?
Yeah, well, from my perspective, that is a hard thing as well, and I'm not ashamed to now ask for help when I need it. So I'll have my husband stop on the way home from the grocery store, and I'll just tell you, if I let him pick it out all by himself, we could be in trouble. So we started an electronic, on our iPhone list, and so we only have on there what we think is, we planned it out. We took, an hour and said, okay, these are the things we want to have for the week. And then, he can easily stop at the grocery store and just check off the boxes. And that way we only have in the house what's healthy. The other thing that I'll sometimes do with the kids is I'll show them the list on the app, and I'll say, okay, you have to pick out one from this section, one fruit and veggie, one of the meats. Do you want chicken? Do you want fish? And, one starch. And that way they, again, just like you said, they love to be involved, and they get to pick the meals for every day. And then at least have some organization to hopefully make the cooking process a little bit easier.
Great idea. Great idea. I know I could use a little more organization in my kitchen, so I'm going to check that app out. Speaking of busy mom, I know sometimes we get busy at our own lives and trying to keep the kids happy and healthy and organize all the things that they're involved in. What do you do to make sure you stay healthy and active and kind of are taking care of yourself?
Yeah, that's also one that probably falls to the wayside more often than it should. But I would say, I try to, take care of myself like I would the kids, probably better than I ever did before I had kids. So I actually get to sleep not long after they go to sleep, mostly because I'm exhausted. But I find that I need more sleep now than ever before. I try and eat a more balanced meal and diet now because I'm thinking about their health. And so it makes it easier for me to eat healthier because I eat with them. And then, I try to make sure that I make it easy. And so to be healthy. And so I have orange juice all the time because that to me gives me that boost that I need energy wise in the morning, and the vitamins and vitamin C with the folate. So I know it's healthy for myself. And then I have easy to eat fruits and vegetables so that it's not like I have to go to a lot of work of peeling and cutting, because I know I won't take the time to do that. But if I have easy to grab stuff, I'll, take some grapes, pull it off and stick it in my lunchbox, throw a thing of orange juice in there. Or I'll throw in, some carrots that are already peeled and ready to eat. That way it's easy and I don't have to work too hard.
Right. That's great tips. I think that we keep kind of coming back to that easy, quick, and being prepared, that kind of makes a huge difference, I think. So, but so speaking of busy mom, why don't you tell us a little bit about your new book? I can't wait to, hear more about what your thoughts on how this is going to help change everyone's lives.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I don't know if it's going to change everyone's lives, but I do hope that people who read it, they just identify with it because, Bill and I, we've had a great time sharing our life story on TV, but we realize there's so much to our backstory that we hope others will find commonality in. We've been through our fair share of struggles. We've been through our fair share of successes. And we know that everybody has their own story of successes and struggles. And sometimes when I've read other books, going through hard times or challenging times, it just meant the world to see how somebody else dealt with their difficulties. So we hope that by sort of being very open, sharing our childhood and our life story, that it will hopefully help others get through their tough times and also identify with the good times.
Very good. Very good. I can't, I love it. So what are your best advice, best tips for staying healthy for us, for myself, for my kids? I know as a doctor, you probably got some really good tips, but before we kind of head out and leave you, I just want to know what your best advice is so I can tuck that away and make sure I use it.
Well, I think out of all the things we've talked about, obviously adequate sleep, healthy diet, sort of staying fit with activities. Those are all really important. But I think the one thing that I think at least I've struggled with as a new parent, and I think that all parents struggle with probably on a daily basis, is identifying the right amount. And so the portions. And so I think, while we all try to eat healthy, we're all gonna, fall off the wagon, so to speak, once in a while. And whether it's something good for you or something bad for you, everything in moderation and appropriate portion size is so key. And so, for example, if you're drinking orange juice once a day, an 8-ounce glass is equivalent to 1 serving of fruits and vegetables for a child. About half of that is the equivalent portion needed for a toddler or preschooler, for 1 serving of fruits and vegetables. And so I think it's all a matter of realizing that based on your child's health, age, what is the adequate amount of each of the important categories of food. And I think that's where it's easy to go awry. My husband and I struggle with, is that too little? We don't want to starve them. Is that too much? We don't want them to, get, have, increased risk of obesity, because that's such a common childhood problem right now. And so I think it's always a balance. It's always moderation. And I think if whatever you're in doubt, it's always, don't be afraid to talk to your pediatrician. They can be a great resource to help you know, this is the amount that my child needs to stay healthy.
So many great tips. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. And I can't wait to add a little bit more organization and preparedness to my back to school routine to keep everyone healthy. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It was lovely talking with you, and hopefully we get to talk again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.